housekeeping, any issues from last night, injuries?
Yeah, they're assessing injuries now. So we've got the next 2 days to make a call on who's going to come to South Africa. So there's about 3 players. Patrick's one, Luke Jacobson's the other, and Ethan de Groot. So we'll make a call on them by Wednesday for travelling to South Africa.
How important are these few days off?
Yeah, mentally and physically. Get back to the whānau and get a wee bit of break in your own beds, and then get excited about the next challenge.
I'm sure you reflected on last night, but have you already started to think about that next South African challenge?
You do, just naturally. You look forward to the next game pretty quickly. Yeah, these tours don't come around that often, especially the Joburg, Cape Town combo. So you're always planning away, and we enjoyed last night and the capping and of the 3 debutants with their families, and then get a sleep in, sort of a sleep in, and then get straight on to the next job.
Is the win, and especially the performance in that first half, is it lighten the load or broken the shackles sort of thing?
A little bit, just confirmed what we'd been planning all along. Like I said last night, Savage around the execution part of it, a lot of the efforts and off the ball. We'd showed a lot of those clips. We just needed to get those little finishes, people finishing their job. We've been creating and doing jobs, but not finishing jobs. So that was pleasing, and the mood of the group was buoyant, as you can imagine.
Having ticked that box last night, how exciting is the prospect or the challenge of what is to come in South Africa?
Yeah, it's always good to get on tour. A little bit of an old school feeling around it, isn't it? When you head away like in the old days and getting up in the middle of the night and everyone gets their little bit of marshmallows out or whatever they do to watch the All Blacks play. So there's that side of it, and we reflected quickly about the opportunity ahead of us. Made sure we talked about what we did well last week, and there's 7 debutants coming away to South Africa, and a lot of them haven't played against South African teams or been away. So there's a bit of excitement there too.
Is that part of the challenge, getting those guys, given what the changes in Super and that you're not playing those South African teams anymore, getting them, I suppose, almost up to speed with what they can expect and what might be to come, and how different playing in South Africa actually is?
Yeah, there's different styles and there's different body types. They've got a clear DNA, South Africa. They've been pretty innovative, evolved really well in the last few games. So it's an exciting part. And you get to see enough of them in Test footy, and you see how Rassie's minds works, and it's pretty special. They've got a great group there, so it's going to be a great few Test matches.
Scott, you had success in South Africa as a coach. You went there with the Crusaders and won that Super Rugby title. Do you draw on something like that?
You do draw. You draw on all experiences, lived experiences, don't you, in the rugby world. On and off the field, what's important, and how do you get those weeks right, and it's a hell of an occasion, and you've got to play your part in it. So yeah, you do draw on it.
I think you had a rumble in the jungle theme that year. You started working on what this tour might be.
Yeah, there's definitely a mindset for it, and what it'll take sort of mentally and physically over there, and yeah, awesome challenge.
Any sense that they're any different a team with Tony Brown's attacking influence in there? Is there any subtleties that they're adding to their game, do you think?
Yeah, look, there's a little bit of variation. Get the ball in the air a little bit more, to play out the back door, and they can test you on the edge a lot too. They've got some great athletes, so yeah, they've definitely evolved. Yeah.
Have you missed going to South Africa? Obviously, you did it quite a bit in Super Rugby, then stopped.
Personally?
Yeah. In terms of a place to go as a rugby coach.
I thought we were going to Durban. The pairs are good to surfing. Yeah, yes and no, because they're just a different challenge. Like I mentioned before, they're set piece orientated, but they can get you in some great kick battles and put pressure in different ways. It's a little bit different to Latoka or playing in Suncorp. At the high veld, these conditions, there's all those factors that come with it. So you do miss it because it's a different challenge, as I mentioned, but it's an exciting one.
What do you have to do to prepare those guys who haven't been there before at any level?
Probably just draw on past history, and a lot of the leaders that have been there and experienced it before, they'll tell us how it is and what you got to get the week right to get the weekend right. So that'll be a big focus for us. We've got Nick Gill, who's a very experienced S&C, and he'll get us where we need to be.
Is this the biggest challenge the All Blacks will face this season?
Yeah. Well, to date it will be, being away and on tour for a couple of weeks for sure. It's, when you play, we've played some big games already. All the teams we played, but bar Fiji, well, they're in the quarterfinals. They're all semi-finalists in the World Cup. It's pretty relentless this season when you look at the calendar. So it's just another challenge.
Scott Barrett wasn't one of those players that you mentioned at the top, so he's good to go. And how important to have your captain back for this tour?
Yeah, he'll strap the pinky up and go at it. He's important. He's a big body, and that's what you need over there. So, he's been observing from the background a little bit. It's Artie's team for the last couple of weeks, and he's been great. He's added to just a little bit of gold where he needs to in observing the team. So it's good to have him back on the field, though.
Scott, how big was Saturday night in terms of, getting your group in the right mindset, the right confidence going to South Africa?
I think, like I said last night, mate, it was the ability just to put it together. It's quite interesting when you actually cross the line and someone puts the ball down, how that makes you feel so quickly. And there's a little bit of, I suppose, it helped us sort of rise, and whatever weight there was on our shoulders, which I don't think there was from us personally, there's always pressure going to test matches, but the occasion, and like I mentioned how we honoured it, but the efforts that created it was more important for us. We're an effort-based team, and cared deeply about the jersey. The score reflected that. That's what we're pleased about.
Scott, what did you make of that yellow card for Asafo last night?
I think it was the right call. Yep, it was good. Look, what I'm really impressed with is where we've got to. Clear processes. We've got considered. It's short, sharp. They look at it. The TMO's coming in and saying it's a yellow. There is some mitigating factors. Let's go and have a look. It's done with. And there's not big long stops in play. The whole Rugby Championship's been really clear. It's been quicker. The actual entertainment value's higher with all those little things that have been put in. I think they've done a great job, World Rugby, and that's a great example of it, that yellow card.
Scott, how do you replicate the same edge after a win? Talk about Artie getting up in front of the group and being very demanding, and the natural edge that comes following a loss. What about after a win?
Well, that's what All Blacks do, firstly, and it's got to be real. As I mentioned before, it's got to have appropriate fare in every game, and what's appropriate. It's going to be a little anyway over there, isn't it, because of the occasion, and that's our challenge as All Blacks to do it weekly.
Rassie's not scared of attempting mind games. Scott, are you sort of preparing for anything or expecting anything in that regard?
I sort of wouldn't want to go down too far, just in case. Or just play what's in front of us, really. I know Rassie, played against him, and he's one of the personalities of World Rugby, isn't he? I enjoy his commentary and the different angle of it. Everyone loves the press conference with him, so looking forward to locking horns.
The way he selected his team, though, clearly he's got one eye on you guys, and this is something you're planning for and have been for a wee while. Did that give you a bit of a nod to that? The changes he made this week, 10 selection changes?
Yeah, look, the one thing Rassie and South Africa have done extremely well is they've built depth over that 4-year cycle. If you look, I think it was the first time, the first World Cup, he lost quite a few test matches in there, but he blooded some great young players that gave them the depth that was required. The World Cup squad was so hard to pick, so they left some great players out, and that's where you need to get to. And so I don't think it's brave. I think it's just smart and staying course. And he's obviously did that last weekend, building depth.
Would you say you're a little similar to Rassie, thinking outside the square and that sort of stuff?
I'll leave that up to you, Sam. I won't self-diagnose. Thanks, mate.
That's not used to. I gave you a chance.
Yeah, thank you.
Just further afield, Campbell Wigard has been in and out of the team quite a bit. Is he still on track for availability?
He is. Yeah, end of the year tour. He's checking really well. Hell of an athlete, some rehabber. So look, he's right on track. So that's great. It's
Maybe
another.
EPC or too late.
That's the next question. He could get a game or two in. Yes, that's what they're planning to do. And if everything stays healthy, yes.
Do you know how many players you've got to South Africa?
36.